Well, it's Monday, so you know what that means. What does it mean, Jim?
Means I got to get the truck washed.
Yeah, we got to go to the gym, too. So we will take you on our day. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to get the truck washed. We have to go to Comcast to drop off because we got our new little box for our internet speed that increased. We got that all hooked up last night, so we got to drop off the old one. So we'll take you with us. Okay, let's get started. Okay, now we're at the Comcast store, but I can't talk long because you're going to hear the background music. Well, good afternoon. Today is Monday, February 5th, and we have only one birthday today. Today is Kathleen Farren, Farren. Kathleen, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kathleen. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you have a great, great birthday. If you're new to my channel, if you let me know in the comments below when it's your birthday, I'll sing to you if you'd like. Just let me know. If your channel name is different than your real name, let me know what your real name is, because otherwise I'm just going to sing to your channel name. And if it's an anniversary, let me know, but let me know who your significant other is so I can include them both into the song. And, you know, really nosy that I am, let me know how many years it's been since you've been married. Okay, we covered all the bases, I think. Just got back from, well, we had a little bit of running to do. We went to the gym, and we were there. I did, I think, I forget, either 36 or 37 minutes on the treadmill. I walked 0.75. I was going to go for 0.8, but for some reason I just stopped. I have no reason why I stopped. I just stopped. I wasn't tired or anything. I think it was the fact that Jim usually walks on the treadmill next to me for 15 minutes, and then he rides the bike for 15 minutes. And then he goes and sits in the hot sauna for 15 minutes. So usually what I do is when he goes into the sauna for those 15 minutes, I walk for another 5 or 6 minutes. So by the time I get dressed and everything in the pool, he's going back and forth with the hot tub and that. But for some reason, he only walked on the treadmill for 11 minutes today, but then he did ride the bike for 15. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. I don't know why, but it just did. And so then I got in the pool and I did my exercises for my balance. I stand in the deeper end, which is, I think it's 5'4" or something like that. I know, really deep. I'm 5'8", so it's not that deep. But I'm practicing balancing, and I'm doing so much better. Just standing on one foot and then standing on the other foot. At the beginning of my walking, I try holding on to weights. Then I stretch my arms out and I hold myself up. But then at the end of my exercising in the pool, then I just try to stand without the weights. And I'm getting a lot better. I do feel that the walking on the treadmill is strengthening my leg muscles. And I really feel, and maybe it's psychological, but I don't really care, but I do feel like my balance is starting to come back. I don't feel as unsteady on my feet, and I know it's because I'm building up muscles in my legs, which they were getting kind of like wimpy anyhow. So I did that. I did the 36 or 37 minutes on the treadmill, and then I did 35 minutes walking and exercising with weights in the pool. And then we left and we went to the Xfinity store because we upgraded our internet. We weren't sure we were going to do it at the beginning because we weren't sure if we were going to get the $30 discount, but we did get the $30 discount. So with the $30 discount, I'm having way faster internet speed at the same price I was paying at AT&T. So we had to bring the box back. That was a whole dilemma in itself yesterday because the new box came yesterday, and according to them, all we had to do was plug it in and it would be good to go. Not in my world. It wasn't good to go. So they had a online chat. You know, I don't like doing those because I never know if, I know you're talking to a robot, is my opinion. I think you're talking to a robot or AI or something. But then they're gone for so long and you don't know if they forgot about you. At least when you'd have a person and they put you on hold, you hear a little bit of music so you know you're not lost. But it took probably, I would say 45 minutes online. And I was really getting kind of discouraged because at one point the machine says, "And how is your day going so far?" And I said, up until now it was going good, but now I feel like I'm wasting my time. And then all of a sudden everything kind of fell into place. And we got he switched it over, whoever switched it all over. And so it's working fine now. So we have the internet. I think that we're going to stay with AT&T. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be able to have UVerse. I don't know. I got a call. Not today, but another day. because Jim just doesn't like the Hulu. It's so much cheaper, but it's not worth the aggravation of listening to him complain. So he said he'd give it till Friday. We have until Sunday before our new monthly bill comes out for AT&T, like the end of the service dates, you know. So I said, give it a couple more days. But we had to turn to the old equipment, and I couldn't figure out how to set up my email. I was having a hard time setting up my email. Thankfully, I found out it wasn't anything I was doing wrong. It's just the fact that Apple, because I have an Apple phone, doesn't support putting the Xfinity email into the mailbox. Because I have one mailbox where I have all of my different email links. So I wanted to put everything in one box, but I can't. I have to keep that separate. So, and then I got a little perturbed because it was a long wait. I felt, and Jim even said it, I felt like we were in the Apple store. Have you ever gone into the Apple store, even if you have an appointment? You wait forever. So we were there waiting to turn in the equipment and find out how to set up the email, probably 45 minutes. And we were done like within 3. Turning in the thing, and he showed me whip, and that was all it was. I really could have done it if I would have known I didn't have to, that I wasn't able to put it over onto the mailbox. But I got a little perturbed because I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And then the guy calls, he says, Marie P. And nobody answered. So then he goes, Marie P. And nobody answers. One more time, Marie P. Nobody answered. So he goes back to his computer to check. And then he comes back and he said, Marie P. And nobody answered. So then he looks at his little thing because there's on an iPad, and he goes, Sandy C. So I stand up and start walking over there. And this lady walks up. She says, I'm Marie P. Okay, she was sitting right in front of that man the whole time. And I think she was just taking the slap because Marie P. wasn't there anymore. And she just didn't want to wait any longer. And I made that very clear. I made it very clear that I thought that she was taking cuts. Because I don't think, he stood right in front of her and called her name 4 times. No, you were taking cuts in the line. You're not fooling me any. And so I was so perturbed. And I said, well, I'd like to see identification to see that she's really Marie P. because I don't think she is. And then I went back and sat down on my seat. And then the manager came over and says, can I help you? And I go, I'll wait my turn. He says, no, you're next. I thought, okay, I don't care. I only took 3 minutes, but you won't convince me otherwise. Because many a time I've thought the same thing. You know, like if nobody answers, I'll just pretend I'm that person. I know. One guy came in and he was all perturbed because he couldn't figure out his bill. And then he didn't want to leave his name. And he didn't want to wait, but he didn't want to make an appointment to come back. And then the poor girl, I mean, she was just sitting there and just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I find at one point in my career, because I've had 2 careers, but at one point I was at an insurance company. They thought they were going to punish my boss. I was trying to get a raise. And when I had my first job, when it was second job, when I left Montgomery Wards, when I went over to, at the time it was called Creative Risk, then it changed its name to Core Scores, and then it was exchanging. I mean, I just kept changing its name all the time. But I had at one point the things went away. I had the perfect job, so I can't even complain. All of the health benefit department went away. And so they kept me because they still needed somebody in the mailroom, but they couldn't figure out how to pay me because they didn't have a HR department in the building. The main office was in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I was the only employee in Michigan. I don't know how that worked out, but I was the only employee in Michigan. And so whenever I tried to put my time thing in, it was always getting messed up. So I finally got a hold of someone at HR, and they said, you know what? We're just going to pay you 37 and a half hours a week. And I go, well, I don't work 37 and a half hours. She said, it's just easier for us to pay you 37 and a half hours a week. So I said, okay, if that's what you want to do. I said, I feel guilty that you're, paying me so, like to work 37 and a half hours. And really, I'm probably working maybe 10 hours a week, 12 at the most. And she says, if you're not going to complain, I'm not going to complain. And I go, well, I'm not going to complain. So to me, that was like a heck of a raise because I'm only working 10 or 12 hours a week and I'm getting paid for 37 and a half. And the place was like less than 3 minutes from my house. I could have walked there. Of course, that was when I was really overweight and I would have never walked to work. But I could have walked to work. you put a song in, and the song was up. You got home before the song was finished. The clocks were not right. They were 3 minutes off. I used to clock out at 3 o'clock. Like I'd leave at 3 o'clock when I was getting paid by, like when I had to punch in and punch out. But I would leave at 3 o'clock, and I would get home just at the beginning of General Hospital, which started at 3 o'clock because they had their clocks wrong. So I had to be there at work a little bit earlier because of the clocks being wrong, but it worked out for me in the long run. Anyway, so I wouldn't take any days off because if I was sick, I thought I can stomach it for like an hour or two just to go and do my mail really quick and then come home. And so I was far enough away from everybody else that nobody came in the mail room other than to get their mail after, like they didn't pick up their mail till the afternoon. I had all their mail in their boxes by 8 o'clock because I started at 6. So it was like, it was the perfect job. So I never took a vacation day or a sick day or anything like that because I was getting paid so well. And then when I left, I had like 3 weeks of vacation time. I had a week's worth of sick time, which they paid me. I had 5 personal days. So I made out like a bandit. All this being said, long way around, we're never going to get to a story really quick. Just never going to. At one point, they combined the departments to form a new department and they weren't going to eliminate the mailroom, but they were going to keep the mailroom, but they wanted me to still do the mailroom, but then in addition, join the scanning department. And because that company that paid me for 37 and a half hours went bankrupt. Go figure. I don't understand why. They're probably paying all of their employees that way because it was easier. But anyway, they went bankrupt. So the company I was at then, opening mail for them, because they paid them to have me open their mail. So I know that's confusing. I worked for Creative Risk, but CoreSource, who I opened the mail for, but Creative Risk paid me to open up CoreSource's mail. Creative Risk never got any mail. So it was just really strange. But then CoreSource hired me because Creative Risk went bankrupt. But I had to open the mail, but in addition had to go to the scanning department. So when they eliminated everything, all the other departments, because they all got sent overseas to India, they had somebody from the bookkeeping department come. They had somebody from the IT department came into that part, the scanning department. Accounts receivable, accounts payable, we all got meshed into this one particular group of scanning departments. And everybody came in with their pay that they had. I have no problem with that. At the time, I had no problem with that. So let's say I was getting paid more than that, but let's say I was getting paid $10 an hour to work in the mailroom. But somebody in accounts payable was getting paid $20 to work in accounts payable. They came in for $20. I came in for $10. For the first year, I was fine with it. But when the raises and stuff came around, I started complaining, saying that I wanted to be paid accordingly to everybody else because I was doing the exact same job, putting in the exact same amount of hours, having the exact same output as everybody else. And so I felt that I should get the raise. And they said no. And then when we got raises, everybody got a straight 3%. So the people making $20 an hour got a 60-cent raise. I made $10 an hour. I got a 30-cent raise. Well, yeah, I complained. I bitched. I really did. I was so pissed. And the guy I had he had the perfect job because he had this kiss ass that would do all of his work. And he never had to do any work. His hours were from 6 to 2:30 in the afternoon. He would come in at 10 o'clock in the morning and leave to go to lunch at 10:45, come back around 12:30, and then he'd leave for the day at 1:15 because all of his work was getting done. All of my letters that I wrote to HR, I never once ratted him out because I'm just not a snitch. That's just, like if they're going to pay you, I got all those years that they paid me for 37 and a half hours and I didn't work them. I'm not going to complain. But I felt that I should get paid the same amount of money. And so I kept sending letters to HR, and he kept getting madder and madder. And I copied him on every letter so that he knew exactly what I was saying. He knew that I wasn't, riding him. I was putting it in such a way that I felt that it was the company policy, not his policy, although I know it was his policy because he had kept hiring friends to come and do work. And so that's where the payroll was going, to his friends who were working, but they weren't. They were just doing like him, coming in when they wanted, leaving when they wanted, just doing whatever they wanted, but they were getting paid. And so at one point they needed a switch. Okay, we're getting back to the operator now. We'd get there. You knew we'd get there. So we get back to the thing, and he thought he'd punish me by being the operator. No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that I was very patient with people that would call and complain about their bills and stuff like that. I would listen to them patiently because I know what it's like to call somebody in customer service. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot it because I think I was very good. Because I had a very high rate, like when they send the surveys out, I always got a high standing because I was patient with people. I still got some assholes. You still got to get them. But I treated them with respect, more respect than they deserved. And I thought that I was really good with that. And at one point, we had a conference call with people in India, and they agreed with me that I should be brought up to the same pay rate as everybody else, and that if he felt he had to give me extra jobs, although at this point I was doing the mailroom, I was doing the scanning, and I was doing the switchboard, all three at the same time, still getting paid less than anybody else, doing way more work than anybody else. So he said fine. So we ended the meeting, and that was decided that I was going to get the raise on my next check. Didn't get it. Wrote another letter. Was told he was told to give me my raise, to file the proper paperwork through HR. Didn't get it. So I tried again, sent another letter. Once again, he was reprimanded. Didn't get it. At that point, I thought, I'm just not going to win this battle. I just know. So I went to Social Security to find out about retiring, and I got a really nice clerk. And she had told me, she said, what you should do is, she looked at my pay rate and everything, and she said, you can work next year, because my birthday's in September. She says, if you can just stick it out for the last couple months here, and if you can start in January claiming your retirement money, and just work until July 15th, as long as you don't get a lot of overtime, but July 15th is a safe date, you can get your raise that way. You'll get your money. So I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And that's exactly what I did. So then when I went in to give my 2 weeks notice, he said, why are you leaving? And I told him, it's because you're not paying me enough and blah, blah, blah and all that. And he said, well, when was this decision made? And I go, this decision was made on June 27th last year. He says, you knew of almost a year ago that you were leaving in this month? And I go, yes, I did. And he says, and you didn't let me know? I says, I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice. That's all I need to do by the rules of the company. And he says, oh, well, I can't believe that. So he says, can you train somebody? And I said, yes. Well, the kiss ass that does all of his work thought that she knew how to do the mailroom better than me, who had done it for the last 15 years. And we clashed. We just clashed because she was showing her ways that were wrong. They were just wrong. And I went to him and I said, if you want me to train somebody, I don't have any problem training somebody to replace me. But if you're going to have her train somebody, I'm going to tell you that in a month you're going to go through 3 or 4 people because they're going to leave because she's making it way more complicated than it has to be. Because she does all of his work, he didn't want to piss her off. He says, we're going to go with what she's doing. He says, well, all you need to do is just come in and punch in and just sit at your desk until there's enough mail to get started, and then you can do that. You don't have to do the mailroom anymore for your last 2 weeks. I said, fine. Brought a book in, read my book until there was enough mail when everybody else came in. I did my work for my 2 weeks, and then I left. The first month, he went through 7 mailroom clerks. I felt so good. My friends would call me and they'd say, yeah, we got another one. We got another one. And then probably 3 months later, he wrote me and asked me if I'd come back with a raise. He'd bring me up to what everybody else was making. But at that point, I was already getting my Social Security. And I said, I'm sorry. You could have had me. You could have had me last year if you would have just done that. And I said, I probably would still be working. I probably still would be working right now. I really would because I enjoyed it so much. It was an easy job. I had so many friends at work. But no. He bit off his tongue just to have a couple friends. And then it worked out that he couldn't have his friends anymore because the company got wise to that and cut his hours way back. So he was down to like 5 people, whereas before he had like 7 or 8. Part of me was a little gleeful. I have to admit it, but I really was. I was a little gleeful. So anyway, now that we've rambled on about that, it's a new day, new week, new start again. I didn't have the best weekend. Tonight I'm going out to eat dinner. I know I probably shouldn't, but Denise and Gary want to take Jim and I out for dinner before letting them stay here. We didn't, for the 5 weeks. And I'm not going to hurt their feelings by turning down a dinner invitation. But I have to leave here in about 5 minutes. And then we're going to go to pick up, we're going to drop our taxes off. We have the same accountant that we've had for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. We don't sit with them. We just drop everything off. They pretty much, ours is pretty much the same every year. Our items that we deduct and everything are all the same. I have them all in a folder. I just drop the folder off. And then in a couple of days, they'll call me and tell me how much I owe them. And then I go in and pay them, and then I get my money. So it's pretty straight and right to the point. And then Christy's dropping off Aaron's car to get fixed, and we're going to pick her up to drive her home. And then we're going to meet Denise at the restaurant. And I'll probably edit this video when I get home from the restaurant because I have a load of laundry and I want to fold before we go. Busy day, busy day. So maybe I'll show you to Christy and them. Maybe not. I don't know. But if not, hope to see you tomorrow. If not, you might see me in a couple minutes. Who's to know? And there's the beautiful Sophia.
Hi.
Did you make your schedule for her? You're not going. Are you going into high school or still middle school next year?
I'm going to high school.
She's going to high school next year. She's getting too old for me.
I got all my scheduling done. I did Spanish and drawing and painting.
And what?
Drawing and painting. But I can't put it in Power School yet because it keeps on saying all the middle school courses.
Oh.
So we have to wait for them to fix that.
Oh.
But I got everything done.
Will you be able to take the bus to high school or you'll still be walking?
I'd still be walking.
Oh.
But hopefully my mom will drive me and I can in the morning.
Then maybe you can get your driver's license sooner and then you can drive quicker.
Me and my mom decided that I wanted to start learning how to drive when I'm 14 and 9 months. So she said she'll pay half and then I'll pay the other half.
Oh, okay.
So,
What are you going to do for a job?
As of right now, I'm going to be working at the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, she's got the job for the Ping An.
Ooh, so do you have to skin the cats?
See, your papa thinks that the food is cat food. He doesn't think it's really chicken. That's your papa. He's all yours. Maybe your other papa will give you a car.
Maybe.
He'll give you a car faster than this papa will.
Exactly.
We were saying about Alyssa's boyfriend. Did you talk to him?
I said hi to him. I was polite.
He's very quiet.
Yeah, he seems very shy. He needs to
You didn't put the
lighten up if he's going to join this family.
Did you put the spotlight on him?
No, I didn't want to give him COVID.
Ha ha ha. So you're who has COVID now?
Oh,
Somebody that hooked up with your man,
Jimmy?
Brooke.
Brooke has COVID?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't get it from us.
I think she got it from Aaron. I think they were doing something on the side.
I don't know.